Hey, Kevin here, and here's a little something for your performance edge as we go into the first week of separation season. Now, to set this up, if you haven't caught any of the other videos and you want to get in, all you got to do is reply to this and say, Kev, I'm in, and we'll put you in for the future live casts and the Q&As and all the good stuff that we'll be doing in the future. But today is the first week. Actually, we're in the first week of separation season. So the key here is really the power of the pause. And the power of the pause is really just slowing down to see clearly. And this is kind of a question you might want to thrash through in the process of all this. The first question is where in your life are you moving fast but not moving forward? Where are you moving fast and not moving forward? And the challenge is to take a look at those areas that you said, hey, this is where I am, and really kind of crafting that internal vision of this is what I want to be. In other words, what I'm separating from and where I'm going to. And then begin to start looking at that through that lens. Hey, have I just been moving fast in this category, but not necessarily moving forward? And there is a part of being busy that is most of the time, in many cases, not healthy. It's not necessarily progress or life-giving, right? It just tends to be this hamster wheel kind of thing. And I'm on this thing with you too. I mean, I have my version of this. You know, people always ask me what's going on, and I always say chase the wind. I'm kind of kidding when I say that, and I'm not kidding when I say that. Sometimes it is like chasing the wind. And if you've ever read the book of Ecclesiastes, you would know that there's a whole lot of references to that in there, which is to the terms of meaningless, actually, is kind of what Solomon says in that writings. But here's the thing I want to come back to. I want to give you some prompts. I want you to, if you took 60 minutes and really sat down in this power of the pause moment, really, and you just got under the hood, really, I mean, just hardcore. I want you to look at each of those three areas and do two things. One is journal through what's called a 3-2-1. A 3-2-1 is what are the three questions about this that I have? What are two concerns? And what's one focus for each of these areas? Maybe it's two, maybe it's one. Maybe there's just one thing you want to work on, the 3-2-1. But here's the second thing I want you to do. I want you to dedicate a whole page to basically saying out loud, these are the things that I don't know about this. I don't know how I'm going to get to that next level. I don't know how I found myself here. I don't know that the work that I put into this is really worth the time that I'm giving it. I don't know. Like, lay out all the things you don't know. Now, here's the thing. Wisdom is often found in knowing what you don't know. And that's an important part of the journey here. So in the power of the pause, it is very much a reflection season. This is a time to just sit down and take a breath and take a look. And as you take a breath and as you take a look, you begin to just kind of discern what is actually the point of separation. You know, it's kind of funny. I was listening to a book the other day and they were talking about transformation. And they were talking about the phoenix, how the phoenix catches on fire and out of the ashes, and all that, that whole thing. If you watch Harry Potter, you kind of know the reference with that too. But however, the author was saying basically that they used to think that the transformation occurred from out of the ashes. And the truth of the matter is the transformation comes from the fire. And so folks, it's time to start a fire. It's really time to really look at, hey, what are the levels of dissatisfaction that I have, and to deconstruct that dissatisfaction. And, that often dissatisfactions can lead us to dysfunctions. And that's not fun either. And so when we start looking at, I don't want you to beat yourself up. I just want you to take the pause. I want you to assess. I want you to be clear. And I want you to really formulate where that point of transformation is going to be, and then really have a feel for it. Really have a feel for what the first step is. What's the first move? We'll get further along as we go, but right now, pause. Hey, 3-2-1 it. What don't I know about? Let's get really clear about what we don't know, and even about what we don't know about going forward. Be really clear with that first. That's where we start. That's your homework. So separation season begins now. It's up to you. probably good time to buy a journal. Sit down, carve out the time, do some damage. So, hey, like I always say, when you see the invisible, you become unstoppable. And this alone is full of invisibles that are life-changing and transformational. So do some damage. Have a great one, everybody.